This week, Scott, the topic is honoring your commitments. How do you stay good on your word and honor your commitments? So go ahead, take it away.
All right. Well, as I got to thinking about this one, again, with all these topics, you can go 100 different ways, but here's what I think. And the first thing that came to my mind was a story. When I was growing up, I had a best friend. His name was Matt. And he would always go ask his dad to play catch. But the reply Matt always got was, "I can't right now. I'm busy. I promise in 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes would pass and he'd go back in and ask again and he'd get the same response. "I can't right now. I'm working. Give me 15 minutes. I promise." Well, this went on for quite a while and nothing ever happened. After time, Matt was dejected and eventually he stopped asking his dad. Matt was promised every single time, and every single time his dad never kept his word. Matt and his dad never mended that relationship, and needless to say, they had trust issues up until his dad died just last spring. I tell you that story only to illustrate the power of a promise, the cost of a lost commitment. Remember back in the day when our word meant something, promises were kept and actually taken seriously. You said something and you meant it. Nowadays, it seems as if we throw words like commitment around like it's candy at a parade. It means nothing, and at the end of the day, it's often left sitting in the middle of the road. The word doesn't mean what it used to because it's tied to trust and integrity, two fading qualities. Keeping your word, your commitments, is about having respect for yourself, respect for others, and most importantly, it does show integrity. For athletes, and we still have some awesome kids who do what they say and they say what they mean, raised right, the whole 9 yards, but that breed is fading. And today we have generations, and granted, not all of them, but we do have generations who forget that commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. However, our young kids don't always get it. If you don't feel like being on time, you're not. You don't feel like showing up for practice, you don't. Student absences in school these days are through the roof across the board, and it's if school is an option. Remember when we went? It was a commitment. Our parents didn't let us miss because they were teaching us responsibility. But somewhere along the way, we lost what it meant to stick to something. As a kid, I remember if we went out for a sport, a team, a club, anything, no matter what happened, we saw that commitment through. Today, it seems we don't act so much on commitment, but we act on our feelings. And once you feel like quitting something, well, every time you quit after that, it gets easier and easier. And now you have a pattern. And it goes from quitting a team to a job, to a family, to a marriage. And sometimes it's all because things got just a little difficult. From a coach's perspective, sometimes we are no different. We want to get so upset at this generation of kids, but we have to look no further than ourselves just to make sure that we've shown them the right path. When coaches quit on their commitments, whether it's a game they're supposed to play or a deadline, or they quit on a losing team, what are we telling our kids, who will inevitably pass down what they learn from us to the next generation? So now we've come full circle, and the stakes are high. We live in a society where we tend to bail on commitments when it gets too hard or when the ability to toughen up is compromised. But it doesn't have to be this way. Coaches have one of the greatest powers anyone can bestow upon them, and that is to mentor our kids and create a value system that guides them through their lives and then hold them accountable to their commitments. And parents, you have the same responsibility. No more coddling your kids and allowing certain behaviors to become normal where they have no accountability at all. And athletes, you have the responsibility to learn these lessons through toughness, discipline, and integrity. And it all begins with a commitment to yourself. Be accountable to yourself. People see what you're doing, whether you realize it or not. So stand for something. Make your words match your deeds. And in a world where commitments are easy to make but hard to keep, and where we can say whatever we want, and we typically do, let us not forget that commitment is an act, not a word. And those are Scott's thoughts.